We are used to be called aggressive because we can no longer speak quietly. On Wednesday, April 14th, a police captain, Devin J. Anderson, ordered chemical weapons be used on peaceful protesters. Devin Anderson sexually assaulted and legally detained a man in 2017. He brutalized peaceful protesters on April 14th as we exercise our right to protest. We demand that Devin J. Anderson be fired due to events of police brutality on April 14th as well as previous crimes. The only way we can heal and develop an alternative to current flawed policing is to rethink policing. We demand a live, televised panel with grassroots organizations, the mayor, and Chief Hawkins to address policing in the city of Albany and specific officers' conduct. We have to start by holding all current police accountable. We demand a public database with all APD officers accordance to the repeal of 50A. We are asking the city to provide transparency by working...
Demanding, not asking.
That's a fact. We are demanding the city to provide transparency by working with the Civilian Police Review Board that already exists in Albany to develop this database. We want the community to be involved. The community has the ability to take care of itself when given the right resources. We will be standing in solidarity for all the lives that have been murdered by police who are supposed to protect us. We will gather to demand justice and shine a light on all the lives that was killed by police. We are here today and tonight to demand that the police take the first step for accountability and justice. We need Devin J. Anderson to be immediately fired tonight. We demand this public database with APD officers' disciplinary records to be created no longer than 12 midnight, April 18th, 2021.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm here mainly just to speak about the press conference that Mayor Sheehan and Chief Hawkins had done yesterday. I'd like to thank the press for being here. The press is a very important tool for democracy. Unlike Mayor Sheehan, we believe in a free press. We do not believe in a press being intimidated, being told that they are reporting things incorrectly, being told that they are lying to the public. Mayor Sheehan talked about how what the media is doing and stating that the media is lying to the public is dangerous. This is the same kind of rhetoric that was used by the former president, Donald Trump, stating fake news and stating that the media is lying to the people that led to an insurrection on January 6th in Washington, D.C. Also, Mayor Sheehan stated that the protest on Wednesday was just like the insurrection on January 6th in Washington, D.C. What my problem is in Washington, D.C., a police officer was murdered. There were people arrested. There were federal crimes committed. There was treason, espionage. And to compare us, our protest for civil rights, to the attempted coup and overthrow of the United States government is dangerous. It's dangerous for the people who protest here. It's dangerous for the people when they go home. That is dangerous rhetoric from the mayor. I'd like to dispel kind of the narrative of that press conference as well. What Chief Hawkins had stated was that they were going to show unedited video. They were going to show video of, quote, what really happened on Wednesday. They stated that live feed videos are not an accurate representation of what's happening. They stated that what is posted on social media is a narrative. It's a narrative-based system trying to make the police look bad. Then we got a 55-minute press conference of video clips. If video clips are not edited video, then I don't know what is. Also, with each video clip, in the middle, we didn't get a full run-through of the clip, and each time Chief Hawkins would stop the video in the middle and state, "Let me put some context to this video." That is not an unedited video. That is not a video that is just let to run free. That is a video in which someone is trying to make a narrative. So who's really trying to make a narrative here? Also, the videos we were shown in the press conference by Chief Hawkins and Mayor Sheehan was one fixed camera that was located on the attached to the building, and one body cam. There were 5 officers, 4 of which who were wearing body cams. Why did we not get a single video of any of the body cams of any of the other officers? Why was there not a single video of any of the protesters' videos? If the protesters' videos were wrong, why did they not show it and say, this is what they did wrong, or this is what they edited? During the time in which pepper spray was used, we only see one video. We do not see the video of the officer who used the pepper spray. We do not see the video of an officer who was using a baton on the crowd. We did not see any of that. Throughout the videos, Chief Hawkins had stated that throughout the video, you're going to see a slight obstruction. He explained that that obstruction is Lieutenant Anderson reaching for his radio to key in and state a message. And throughout the videos, there's obstruction. Why, when we see those video clips of that obstruction, is not another body cam scene? Specifically, when the pepper spray was deployed, 16 seconds of video is obstructed by Lieutenant Anderson. In 16 seconds, a lot of things can happen. We have 16 seconds unaccounted for by the police. I want to know what happened in that 16 seconds. Why is there no other body cam footage shown? Is there something to hide? Is there something that they don't want us to see? We were told that this was a premeditated march to attack police officers and attack a police building. First of all, on Monday, we were just down on Henry Johnson Boulevard in front of the police department. Was there any attack on the police building? No. On Tuesday, in front of Schenectady Police Department, were any windows broken? Was there any clash with police officers? No. On Wednesday, there seems to be a big issue. On Monday and Tuesday, there were no officers out in front of the police station. On Wednesday, there was. What's the difference? What's the difference of why Wednesday was a problem? I can tell you why, and Chief Hawkins admitted it himself, that the police incited a riot. But my definition of a riot and an altercation are a little bit different, but Chief Hawkins in the press conference himself admitted that the police incited the crowd. And that's why they went back inside. So when the police officers came back outside, what was the goal? What was the goal of the police officers when they came back outside? And also, if it was a premeditated attack on a police building, right next to the police building is the parking lot for all the police cars. Was there any damage to a single police car? The answer is no, because if there was, he would have told us about it. Was the 2 officers who were guarding the parking lot, was there any issue? Was there anything thrown? Was there a scuffle with those police officers? No, there was not. So what's being said as a premeditated attack on police officers and a police station, clearly Chief Hawkins doesn't know what premeditated is. because the crowd that was marching up Arch Street had multiple chants. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. No justice, no peace. The other chant was, this is what democracy looks like. Tell me how that crowd walking up the street was inciting. We had a 55-minute press conference from the chief and the mayor. And the mayor likes to talk about she's really serious about change. I'm sorry I haven't seen any. I'm sorry. But it's an election year, so of course she has to run on being the change candidate. It seems like every time the election comes up, Mayor Sheehan is the change candidate. We'll figure out next year if she's still around to have these conversations. If you guys can find her when we're still protesting next year. I'm pretty sure it's going to be hard to reach her office. And then she likes to take a victory lap for the Black Lives Matter that's painted on Lark Street. It wasn't her idea, but she took the victory lap anyway. Has anybody drove on Lark Street lately to see what that looks like? Is it maintained? Did they repaint it? So if that's what Black Lives Matter looks like to Kathy Sheehan, is taking a victory lap for something that she didn't even do and not maintaining it, that's what we think she thinks about Black lives. Going further, she had told us that she is for alternative methods and less lethal force in terms of tear gas and pepper spray. And she said to us that we have to just trust that the Albany Police Department's going to use it the right way. We have to trust the Albany Police Department, that they're going to use it the right way. I think we can tell by Wednesday that they can't use it the right way. Chief Hawkins stated that a less disciplined police department could have led to a different situation. So maybe a more trained police department would not have led to any of that at all. And Mayor Sheehan likes to compare us to the January 6th insurrection of un-American people trying to overthrow the United States government. So she had stated that they need tear gas just in case something like that happens, because if they don't have tear gas, there's only two options. Either do nothing or use lethal force. So she's basically stating that unless they have tear gas, the police department only has two options. They either don't do their job or they use lethal force. So she tells us to trust the police department. How? When she just says that there's only two options if they don't have tear gas, which is banned in war. It's banned in war, but we can use it on American citizens who are peacefully protesting. Mayor Sheehan also says that she has conversations with the people all the time.
Right.
Wait, excuse me, where's Mayor Sheehan right now? Where's the conversations that we have? She says she talks to citizens all the time. She says she talks to citizens. Where is she? She's not here right now. So at this point, why should she even be mayor? She tells us that she's the mayor of change. I don't see any. She says she talks to the people. She hasn't talked to us. She says we got to trust the police department. And we see what happened on Wednesday. She states that the protesters are righteous in their anger, and they should be angry, and rightfully so. But then spends 55 minutes telling us that we shouldn't be protesting the way that we protest. Peacefully. Asking for justice. I want to know when we're getting that change for Mayor Sheehan. She tells us that change isn't just policy. We have to change a culture. She's the mayor of this city. She's the mayor. At one point in time, the mayor has to lead. If she's not going to lead, then maybe we should have someone else in office. doesn't matter the party at this point, because if this is what we get from Mayor Sheehan, maybe we should have somebody else in office. So going further, there's going to continue to be peaceful protests. If Mayor Sheehan is the leader of this city, if she is so concerned about change, maybe she should start looking into what change actually means, because status quo is not change. Thank you. My name is Matt Marshall. M-A-T-T, first name, M-A-R-S-H-A-L-L. I am just a local citizen. That's all I am. Thank you.
All right. We'll start off with some words that Chief Hawkins used a lot of times. He said peaceful protest. I think you heard him say it 100 times. Peaceful protest, as long as it's peaceful protest. Chief Hawkins, and I also want to know for the media, that is one question I'd like to know. Why didn't one person from the media ask him, what is a peaceful protest to you, Chief Hawkins? You can't just say peaceful protest and not have any context to it. Peaceful protest, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. To me, peaceful protest means when we're not harming people. Peaceful protest means we're not beating people up. Peaceful protest means when we're not blowing things up. Peaceful protest means when we're not storming buildings. That's peaceful. Screaming because we are angry at police brutality does not make us unpeaceful. Of course we are screaming. Why, you be screaming too. Why would you not be screaming when we continually watch black people and people that marginalized communities be terrorized by the police on TV? We watch it every day. Every day. It's becoming a fad to continue to just watch this. It's normal. It's normalized. When we're seeing George Floyd, it became normal to continue seeing this. When we seen this happen to Daniel Prude, it became normal. When we seen this just happen to Dante Wright, normal. Adam Toledo, normal. It's not normal, and we've had enough. And enough is enough. And then you got to talk about Chief Hawkins sitting here defending his officers. So we'll go to the black officer. We'll go to that. We'll go to the black officer who was told some things for some black people, including me. He was told some things. He was told some things after I seen him hit a black woman with a baton. This officer, who was so honorable, decided that when he went inside back inside the precinct to rip his name tag off and take off his body cam. Why did he do that? He's only been on the force for about 3 months. So an officer who's on your force for less than 3 months doesn't follow the rules, and you say that that's a good officer? No, I beg to differ. He needs to be off the force. We don't need people like him, plain and simple. And what we don't need also, we don't need a Caucasian lady talking about what two black people are talking about in context of things that are talked about in the black community that we talk about in our certain way. Yes, we talk about things. There is an Uncle Tom in our neighborhood, and he is exactly that. That's what we see. When I see a black man beat black women, laugh at them, and also on his body cam, you don't hear what that man said. You don't hear what the officer does. You don't see anything he does. You see what we do. You see what we say. It's called fear-mongering. That's what it's called. And they've been doing it since the beginning of time. It's called white supremacy. Now, McGee, Dirty McGee, the union president that's known for getting off officers when they do things that they shouldn't do to community members, when they abuse community members. Did we forget about these people? Did we forget about Dante Ivey? Did we? Was there justice for Dante Ivey? No, there wasn't. Shaniqua Stewart. Elazar Williams. We didn't forget their names. So when the chief says that his police are so good and they do so good in the community, were those officers good? Did we not just have an officer in November get caught saying that black people were the worst race on the earth? Did we not just see that? This is the same exact police station, the same exact force that you're saying is good, and they're so good. No. So the reason why we were screaming at these police officers is because they have harmed the community. The community is harmed. The community is angry. The community we want peace, but there will be no peace until we get justice, and we continue to see over and over again that there will be no justice. And what you see is when you see a lady telling us, which is exactly what he said, speaking that Trump talk, that Elise Stefanik talk, saying that we were doing an insurrection. If you see on the video, let's bring it back to where it really started, and you don't see this on the video. one of our media people went up there with his light. It's an LED light that's used for media. He goes up there with his light. We walk inside the door. We're playing music on the bullhorn. We're playing Fuck the Police on the bullhorn. They decide, now the doors are wide open. We could have been stormed the building. We never stormed the building. No officers outside at all. He goes inside with his light. He shines the light. Officer Devin Anderson doesn't like that he's shining his light. So he closed the door on us. He proceeds to open up the door and try to smack it out of his hand. The same exact thing that he did to my sister when he bashed her in her mouth with her bullhorn. So that's why we're angry. And if you notice, everything escalated the moment that he assaulted my sister. So of course it escalated. We rightfully escalated. I'm not angry at all. And then when it comes down to the window, this mysterious window, they showed so much video. What is 56 minutes or so of this live video that they did yesterday? Where was the video of the breaking of that window? I didn't see one. Did you see one? I didn't see one. I don't believe it exists. Prove it if it does. And if it does, I'm sure it doesn't go with the narrative that you're trying to spin at all. And that's why you haven't released it yet. I really don't have too much else to say, except for the fact that we can continuously see that these city officials are trying to paint a narrative of us being scary demons, monsters who are coming to burn down the city. And it's far from that. What we are people who are angry. We are sad. We are disheartened. And what we want is justice. That's plain and simple. And we will be out here at 6 p.m., Townsend Park, and we will be out here until Devin J. Anderson is fired. Plain and simple. We will not stop protesting in Albany until Devin J. Anderson is fired.
That's it.
Kathy Sheehan, you should resign. You say Black Lives Matter, you never fight for Black lives. You say trans lives matter, you don't fight for trans lives. You say LGBTQIA matter, you don't fight for their lives. You like photo ops. It looks good for you. Selections year. Let's get her out of there. She's not for the people. We need somebody who's really going to make a change. What else we are asking for and demanding? We are demanding for the Civilian Review Board to do an investigation into APD in the South Station, including Devin J. Anderson. We also want this database now. And it should have been happened ever since the repeal of 58. New York City has more than 3 databases that you can access all over the country to get any officer's records, found or unfounded. We need these records. And why is Devin J. Anderson a lieutenant on this force for 14 years when he has so many allegations against him? And we're talking about 3 lawsuits. We're not talking about just the misconduct allegations. We haven't even seen those yet. We're talking about vile, disgusting acts from an officer who runs a squad, who is supposed to keep us safe. Who do you protect? Who do you serve? Chief Hawkins. Chief Hawkins, you've been told since my first protest that I came out for by myself when we were out at the Times Union Center, when the people were demanding to be heard then. What have you done since then? You've done nothing. And in those same days, in that day, you will call some of those same names that black officer was as well. Because in the black community, that's what you are looked at as when you, or as a black man, don't keep your own community safe. What is that? That's white supremacy. And we're not standing for it. Fascism. Complacency. We are against all that stuff. And we're going to continue to fight it. And I will once again repeat that there will be no justice. There will be no peace until we get justice. And justice is Derek J. Anderson, Devin J. Anderson being fired now. Oh, and my name is Lexis Figuereo, Lexisfiguereo, leader of Black Lives Matter, Saratoga Springs.
In conclusion, I'm going to go and say this. Our lives are threatened every day by police officers. Stop or I will shoot is said to my community more than once a day. But you continue to sit here and say that we threatened police officers at a protest than at South Station. Our people get threatened every day with stop, I will shoot. Our people get screamed in their faces every day by Albany PD.
That ain't right.
Do you sit here and go to our minority communities and sit here and look at the people, look at our children? Tear gas in our communities. Back in May of last year, our children lived in houses with parents, with adults, with elderly. Do you know the underlying conditions of those people that lived in those houses? Do you know how many children might have went to the hospital that day because they couldn't breathe because of expired tear gas? There is video and footage of expired Bear pepper spray you used on our people. There is footage of your officers taking off their name tags because they do not want to show their identity.
Why?
Understand that. Why is that? If you said these are good cops and it could have went way worse, then why are your cops hiding their identity, and why are we using expired tear gas and pepper spray on the people in Albany? Understand that. What I'm going to say next is the simple fact is, Kathy Sheehan, do not sit here and say that you are for the people when I've been out here since day one. Day one. You choose not to talk to our people. We've been out here. You have plenty of ways you could talk to us. You know who your community leaders are in Albany. Why will you not talk to them? Let's be real. I am an angry black woman for a reason. I am not going to sit here and let the mayor of Albany sit here and tell me how much she does, along with Chief Hawkins, of what you did. You gave us one black detective. Be real, Chief Hawkins. One black detective. What have you done for our black community as a black man?
Nothing.
As a black man. As much as you said that we cursed out these black police officers and called them racial slurs, what about your white police officers that go into our minority communities and curse them out and call them porch monkeys, nigger babies, and anything else that spit and scream in our faces because we would not let you arrest us? What about that? What about the doors getting kicked in without warrants and babies are inside? Isn't that a risk to childhood development? Let's be real. Let's be real. Our babies live in those houses, the doors you kick in. And you wonder why our kids do not want to grow up and be police officers. Look at the painted picture you put. I'm gonna shut my mouth. My name is Vakari Fox, V-A-C-A-R-I. I am the founder of Community Matters, but I am also a resident of Albany County since I was a baby.
What does Community Matters? Help the community?
So, exactly. Exactly. So, I'm going to open up for questions. Is there any questions that you guys want to have? Nope, Adma.
Adam Walker. I'm a photographer for a local independent media source. Kathy Sheehan and Chief Hawkins personally insulted me and tried to vilify me. There's no militia in Albany. Why am I wearing camouflage? Why am I wearing a beret? In the 60s, there were Black Panthers, black people who helped each other out, created community service. We've lost that. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back, and I'm bringing it black. Black folks do not get to protect ourselves, do not get to see things. When young black children see me in camouflage, they get inspired. They get reminded of their heritage, of their power. We are not militant. We don't have weapons. We have cameras. We have lights. The police shine their lights at us all the time with their high-powered flashlights. If I shine my light on you, it's because I have something to see, I've got a picture to take, and I will continue to do so. We are out here, we are free, and we intend to rethink the Black Panthers and bring this aspect back. It's not dead yet. This intelligent gentleman here wants to bring back the Black Panthers and have some kind of community youth service. Now, if only this city would actually give us the resources in which to do so, but nonetheless, thank you. But nonetheless, we will try to do this all on our own, as the Black Panthers did before us, and as we'll have to do now. I don't know if...
One more thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, one more thing, and we're gonna open up for questions. One more thing is, I want Officer Felton fired also. He assaulted me and my partner and this young lady right here with his baton. There's no good body cam footage of that. I had footage of that. I was in front of him. I have My phone is cracked from him hitting us with his baton. Me trying to protect my partner. He needs to be fired. He doesn't need, without pay. Immediately. Kathy, you need to resign also. Why is it the fact that I have to do stuff for the LGBTQ community, my house mother has to do stuff for the LGBTQ community if you're for the people? I had to start a community center and a shelter for LGBTQ youth because you don't. You know there's no shelter for trans people.
At all.
At all.
Nope.
At all.
Nope.
So resign.
That ain't right.
You're not for the people. And now we will open for questions.
My name is Casey Charles. That's Kaseycharles. I'm open for any questions. Any questions?
Nope.
We.
Nope. Sorry.
Yes. After this, because I mean, it's not like they were forthright with their names or their badge numbers, even though we asked. Did we? No, we didn't. I answered the question. We did not look up the officer's name before this. We literally found it out after the incident on Wednesday. So.
Yeah, we had no idea, and we're glad that we found out. I mean, that's what's sad. That's why we had to put our body on the line. Apparently, my sister had to be, a little pawn for us to find out the real truth about this man. We wouldn't have known that we have an officer like this that's been working there for 14 years. It's disgusting. Let's also not forget that he also was found putting a gun to somebody's head, telling him that they didn't talk anymore. He's gonna blow his head off. Also called somebody a porch monkey. Also in November, it was told that inside the interview, he said that there is no race issue inside APD. The same man who said that, and a week later is when it came out that the other officer said that black people are the worst race on the country. So, yeah.
I would just like to say, Albany has a history of saying there are no George Floyds here. There doesn't have to be a George Floyd but there is a Dante Ivey, there is a Shaniqua Stewart, there are multiple other names that are in Albany, and nobody has to be a George Floyd, specifically. Police consistently assault the community on a regular basis. There is no need to have a hashtag for every one of them. A lot of times people don't hear about it, the lawsuits and things that people press against APD, because APD loves to settle things out of court, then wash the media. Today, I was looking for my own cousin's court case on the Times-Union website because I know it was printed there, and a couple other websites. It is completely washed from the internet because it was settled out of court. No one knows that. Why? Why every time there's a settlement out of court, does the media not keep it in the papers? Because this is the things that the community needs to know about. They need to know about the injustices that happens in their neighborhoods on a consistent basis. Any other questions?
Yeah, on the night of that protest, Chief Hawkins said that there may have been a couple of individuals within the group that were trying to cause mayhem. Do you guys have results for that?
I would like to say he specifically called those few people bad apples. I feel like he's throwing stones at a glass house. There may be bad apples with us, but you have an entire rotten tree.
Facts.
Everything from root to tip of each branch is sullied in the blood of our people. And you're saying we have bad apples. Sir, you need to be uprooted, period. You need to resign, period. You need to lead the community matters up to the community.
Period.
Any other questions?
I know on Twitter earlier today, Mayor Sheehan walked back her statement.
Of course you did.
My thoughts on no, just give me 1 second. My thoughts on that is, as a mayor, I believe that you should be way more selective in what you say, because as activists, I'm gonna put it on us real quick. As activists, right, we receive death threats on a regular basis. Okay, so when you say things like we're committing treason, like the people that had a hand in the insurrection in D.C., we get more death threats. We get our own people turning against us, and which also in turn puts our life in more danger because they think that only the police are after us when there are Proud Boys and white supremacists that consistently drive by our houses, that consistently steal our mail, that consistently threaten us. So she's literally putting the community that she works for and says that she stands up for our constitutional rights to peacefully protest. She's putting us in danger. So that's negligence as a mayor. She needs to watch what she says, and she needs to resign, period.
Anybody can answer questions. No, I'm saying y'all nigga. We all still
I'd like to add something to your question that you just asked. It's one thing to say something. It's pretty strange that within 24 hours she walks it back. But it still came out of her mouth. You want to know why she walked it back? Because she knows she's wrong. She knows that the danger it puts people in. But unfortunately, it came out of her mouth, so we know how she feels. We know how she truly feels. You can't walk that back. As much as you want to walk it back, as much as you want to say it's a mistake, I'm sorry, you can't walk it back. She's a politician. She should know better.
First of all, but did she apologize to us, the people who she accused of this? Did she call us? Did she email us? Did she care to let us know that that she was wrong? No, she didn't at all. And she also did. We also can't forget that she put out a tweet last night, also almost to justify. Like once again, that's why we bring it back to peaceful and unpeaceful. She said on there that tear gas and rubber bullets will not be used on peaceful protesters. If you notice, Chief Hawkins said a million times that we were not a peaceful protest. So what does that mean? Lead me to think that if that statement had been out there before the 14th, then they would have used tear gas and rubber bullets and been justified in doing so. And they know we're having a protest tonight, so that's why she put that out, so that they can maybe use tear gas or rubber bullets tonight as well, in which we will be peaceful. We'll see who the aggressors will be, just like we did last time.
Also, I just want to point out that Kathy may have taken her comments back, but my brother and I right here, we don't take our comments back to the black cop. I assure you, we don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's simple facts. And Kathy, again, you have no input on what black people say to another black person.
I just have a question. In actual common sense, is it possible at all in the terms of the word racist, right? Is it at all possible for a black person to be racist to another black person?
No.
Because if that's the sense, that would mean that we hold power over this person to perpetuate a system above them. So what you're saying is, I believe that I am above this officer, so therefore I call them this. But in a social structure, right? So, Kathy Sheehan, you need to really think about what you say before you say it. If you think that we were out of conduct then, you honestly, have you seen a peaceful protest before? If we want to be real, like, Martin Luther King, which everyone loves to bring up, was the quote-unquote peaceful revolutionary, right? He was a peaceful revolutionary.
Murdered.
Martin Luther King also said that rioting is the language of the unheard. And obviously, Kathy isn't listening, right? If you think that was a riot, and it was not. It was a peaceful protest of people stating their grievances and the police officers getting angry when they heard something they did not want to hear. Like people over property. Like our Black Lives Matter. Like stop killing us in the streets. All of these things. Defund the police. allocate money back to the community. Things like that they hate hearing because it puts them out of a job. And thank God for that. Because with less police officers and more community, that's how we're going to get ahead. Any other questions?
Yeah, my sister has laceration to her mouth and also a chipped tooth. That's what happened from having a megaphone and for Devin Anderson not wanting to hear what she said. If you see on our video, which the live video, which the real video, unedited video, and we'll send them to you, some more videos, pictures as well, all that stuff. On the video, you can see that Devin is in the corner, nowhere near my sister. Me and my sister are standing next to each other. My sister's over the rail. She's not even on the other side that they told us to disperse from. He purposely comes over to her, moves over to my sister, and snatches it from her. He doesn't just snatch it from her, though, because in the video it shows, it looks like the snatch. He pushes first, boom, boom, out of her head. That's when he popped her in the mouth. Her head goes back like that. She falls back. That's when everything erupts. So let's once again have the real narrative, and we're going to have the media do things. And like I said, she also undermined journalism so bad, she literally pretty much told you guys that you don't know how to do your job. She said she's been doing journalism longer than you guys before you were born. She disrespected the media. She said that you guys don't tell the real news. Once again, Donald Trump, please sit back. Please. Please. That's not how you make America great again. No. We got another comment?
My name is Star Mazzero, S-T-A-R-M-I-Z-Z-E-R-O. I just want to talk about what happened on Wednesday. I want to talk about Officer Felton, the black cop, because he is the one that did damage to me. As we were on the ramp, he decided after that they hit Chandler, that they wanted to get us off the ramp. In that moment, he pushed me, and I told him, very respectfully, do not touch me. From that moment, he decided that he wanted to use force to get us off. And from that moment on, I was pushed and hit several times with his baton. There's videos, there's picture proof of it. From that moment, I was then trampled and fell onto Samara. And from that moment on, we were pulled out from underneath everybody, dragged, screaming, hurt. I had a big knot on my forehead. I had bruises all over my body. After that, I don't know which officer it was because everything was so hectic. There was an officer that decided that they wanted to pepper spray. I think this was the second or the third time, because one time I did get hit, but I wasn't hit enough to the point where it hurt me. You can see in the videos where water's being poured on my eyes, but I go right back to the ramp. But the second time I was pepper sprayed, the officer was literally in my face as close as these mics was. And I could hear him say, okay, pulled it from his side, pulled it up. And from that moment, it hit my eyes and went in my mouth. I have exercising-induced asthma. The moment that pepper spray hit the back of my throat, I could not breathe. I did not have no medical help except for the medic team that we provide for ourselves.
We keep us safe.
We definitely do. From then, I was dragged to the side to get medical treatment. But from there, I couldn't, what they had was not enough for me, and I had to go to my house mother's house. And I was there for like an hour and a half in the shower, pouring milk and water all over my body. I could not open my eyes. Every time I opened my eyes, more pepper spray would get in. I was in the shower for an hour and a half, just trying to be able to even open my eyes. I wanted my partner because he was left behind. I wanted my people because it's not fair that they had to stay back and do whatever they had to deal with because I can't speak on that because I wasn't there. And the fact that I wasn't there broke my heart. And then to go back and see more damage was done as I was already gone, like there wasn't enough. It's very sad. It breaks my heart. And it's very traumatic for me to even see the videos. To see how my people that I'm with all the time that have my back hurt, crying, screaming. And we didn't get nothing. We didn't get help. And I just want to bring up the fact that police go through academy. They get training. Y'all have weapons. Y'all were there waiting for us to get there. Very, very intimidating, first off. We went peacefully. We had no intention of nothing. We just want our voices heard and we want to stop being murdered. But y'all came ready. And then y'all used force. But how is me walking up to a police station, speaking my freedom of speech, intimidating to you to the point where you have to use force? And then when I spoke to Felton to his face and spoke to him saying that, because most of the people that got hurt were women, first off.
That ain't right.
There should be, my exact words to him, there should be a female officer out here with us. If there's an officer putting their hands on me, it should be a female.
Facts.
And you know what he did? And you know what all the rest of the cops did behind him? They looked at me in my eyes and laughed in my face.
Of course they did.
How is that right?
That ain't right.
That's all I got to say. It's very sickening and disgusting, and I can't believe that this is our police department.
I do have a question for someone. Kathy Sheehan tweeted it an hour ago that she's apologizing for her comments.
She's apologizing.
Wait.
Okay. And she should apologize for her comment.
Regarding Friday's press conference, comparing the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th to Wednesday.
Choose your words wisely. Thank you. Choose your words
That's the one that we already answered.
Yeah, we already answered.
Yeah, we're
answered
gonna.
that already. We answered that already.
Wait, can I address that tweet? Wait.
In no way did I intend to compare the insurrection to the GLM.
Blatantly.
I am sorry.
I have a simple response. Apology not accepted.
Exactly. Not accepted. And I don't care. Where was your phone call to me after you saw Devin J. Anderson attack me? No, instead you vilified me along with Chief Hawkins. You came at a black woman. You watched a black woman get brutalized. Several other black women.
Yep.
Several other black femmes.
Yep.
Several other black trans
Yep.
men,
Yep.
trans women.
Yep.
You watch non-binary folks,
Yep.
cisgendered men, cisgendered women be attacked, and you didn't do a damn thing about it. And you vilified us.
He backed his officers. That's what
You
he did.
backed your
He
officers.
said he backed everything
And you
they did.
vilified me. You vilified me. Now I'm sitting here putting my trauma on full display. For what now? It's been almost 4 days of this? 4 days of showing y'all my injuries over and over again? 4 days of rewatching the footage over and over again?
And let's not forget that we are public figures, me and my sister, and most of us up here. So they could get our email address. They could get a contact us just fine. Just like you guys have my address. I mean my email address and phone numbers and everything else. All your reporters text me. Same way she could have reached out. She could have apologized. She could have sat down and had a meeting. She could have merely made some change. She could have, but she decided to do what she did, and now she's trying to cover up the BS that she did, and we are not going to accept it at all.
You
And
vilified us.
And like I said, we will be out here at 6 p.m. tonight.
And every other
night until Devin J. Anderson is fired and Officer Felton is fired and Chief Hawkins resign and Sheehan, you need to resign. You wanna make a nice apology? Quit, because you can't do your job.
Our trauma is not your fucking entertainment. And that's it. I've had enough of this. Thank you.
Oh, my other part of that comment is, what did she mean then? When she said she in no way meant that, what did she mean then? If she didn't mean that, why did she say it?